From downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A traffic stop, a foot chase, and a deadly ending in Shelby Township. Police shoot a suspect during a traffic stop. Investigators say officers opened fire on a 44-year-old man from Troy who was running away from police and pulled out a gun. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Ty Steele. Now, the shooting happened around 3 this afternoon in the area of 22 Mile Road and Van Dyke in Shelby Township. Victor Williams joins us now with the very latest on the investigation and what neighbors are saying about some very tense moments.
Well, this is the suspect's vehicle that's being towed away right now. We've been right here on scene for the past few hours watching this investigation unfold. But this is definitely not what people were expecting to happen on such a beautiful day in this community.
I feel bad for the officer. I feel bad for the victim.
There are truly no winners in this situation where a Shelby Township traffic stop leads to a 41-year-old man from Troy being shot and killed by police.
I got home just as the cops were putting up their yellow tape.
Within that yellow tape, detectives and crime scene investigators spent hours combing the scene for evidence, even flying a drone so cops could get a bird's-eye view of the crime scene. We're told officers initiated the traffic stop on a white caravan near Van Dyke and 22 Mile, when at some point the 41-year-old driver being pulled over got out of the car and started running away. Following a brief chase on foot, officers tried deploying a taser to stop the suspect, but that's when police say the suspect pulled out a weapon, and after several warnings to drop it, police ended up shooting him.
I feel bad for him. I wish that he would have made a better decision. Sometimes just cooperate, and this kind of stuff wouldn't happen. If you just go through those commands and just do what you're told, things will be okay. He'd still be around today.
The victim was taken to the hospital where he later died. Investigators are now working to get to the bottom of why the suspect decided to run in the first place.
Is it worth all that? I doubt it. I don't know what the gentleman's problem was or situation, but I'm sure he must have been in one of some sorts to pull a gun on officers. Obviously, sounds like a death wish, sort of.
Now, the officer that was involved was placed on administrative leave. In the meantime, the entire investigation has now been turned over to the Macomb County Sheriff's Department. Live tonight, Victor Williams, Local 4. Back to you, Ty.
Yeah, what a sad outcome in all this. Victor, other than being 41 years old, do we know anything about the man's identity?
Not much at this time. We know that police know, but they're not releasing that information. More than likely, they're waiting to notify the next of kin, and they have to be devastated as well hearing this.
Yeah, of course. Just, again, a really sad ending to this. Victor, thanks for covering that story. New at 11, Michigan State University facing a new federal lawsuit by sexual assault survivor Brenda Tracy. She claims the university leaked her confidential harassment complaint against former head football coach Mel Tucker. The 51-page lawsuit specifically names trustees Rima Vassar and Dennis Deno, accusing them of exposing Tracy's identity during the investigation. Tracy says university officials failed to protect her from threats and harassment after her story became public and ignored previous complaints about Tucker's behavior toward other women. Tucker was fired last fall after investigators found he sexually harassed Tracy during an April 2022 phone call, 8 months after hiring her to speak to his players about preventing sexual violence. Tracy seeks unspecified damages, saying she suffered psychological distress and lost income because of all this. No response yet from MSU. Also new tonight, it's an unprecedented move. Florida's Board of Governors is blocking Santa Ono from becoming the next leader of the University of Florida. The board voted 10-6 against his appointment, with some criticizing his past support for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The University of Florida's Board of Trustees has unanimously approved Ono as their choice for the school's 14th president. This marks the first time the state board has ever reversed a presidential selection by university trustees. Once again, things got heated during a meeting about a proposed Sheetz location, this time in Macomb Township. Watch this.
You have 1,000 residents. They're refusing this.
Mr. Jawad, would you like to leave the meeting?
No, I'm not.
You're invited to leave. We have sheriffs here to ask you.
So that man that got up and then sat back down was eventually removed from the meeting by police. for his outburst. Local business owners and residents gathered tonight at a meeting by the Planning Commission. The Sheetz site is planned to go at the southeast corner of 23 Mile Road and North Avenue. Some people living and working nearby expressed their concerns to try and halt what they claim are out-of-state developers threatening local businesses.
I think it's very short-sighted thinking. When we talk about the quality of life, it's more than just property values, which, by the way, in case people aren't aware, they are going to drop with the construction of this new gas station. How exactly it's benefiting the community, we're failing to really look at the long-term picture here.
Tonight, the commission did approve the special land use and site plan for this Sheetz location, so things are moving forward. We will continue to follow the Sheetz expansion in Metro Detroit. They're planning on opening a number of locations nearby, and we will bring you the very latest as it happens. 2 Chinese nationals are facing federal charges, accused of smuggling a dangerous plant pathogen into the U.S. by way of Detroit Metro Airport. Now, this pathogen in question is known as a potential weapon for agricultural terrorism. Pretty scary stuff. Prosecutors say the couple planned to work at a laboratory at the University of Michigan last year in Ann Arbor. The fungus is known to be extremely dangerous. It's said to be responsible for billions of dollars worth of damage to agriculture like rice, maize, wheat, and barley. The fungus can also cause major health complications for us, like vomiting, liver damage, and reproductive defects in both humans and animals. The couple facing multiple charges now, including conspiracy and visa fraud. Why they were trying to bring this dangerous fungus into the U.S. is still unclear. Hamtramck city officials are facing serious allegations for corruption and election fraud. Suspended city manager Max Garbarino and police officer David Hamtramck have filed a lawsuit against the mayor, the police chief, and 6 council members. They claim violations of whistleblower and civil rights laws, and they say the Arab American defendants are discriminating against them for exposing corruption and because they're white. The suit includes allegations of a scheme to secure a presidential pardon with a multi-million-dollar payment to President Trump. Well, today, the attorney for the case says the allegations are almost unbelievable, like something out of an episode of The Sopranos.
Allegations of public corruption, abuse of authority, misuse of funds, bribery schemes, all kinds of illegal election activities. So this is politics at its worst. This is allegations of corruption at its worst.
This suit also points to election fraud and pressure to fire city employees on discriminatory grounds. Garbarino and Hamtramck are seeking reinstatement, damages for loss of wages, and an apology. Governor Gretchen Whitmer says she spoke to President Trump after he said last week that he was considering pardoning the men who plotted to kidnap her. Whitmer did not reveal the details of that conversation at an event earlier today. Listen.
I will just confirm that I have connected with the president directly on this subject and made my thoughts known. And so beyond that, I'm not going to share more about our conversation, but hopefully he'll take some of those things into consideration when he makes a decision.
When did you talk with him?
In the last 24 hours.
There you go. Last week, President Trump told reporters in the Oval Office that he would take a look at potential pardons for Barry Croft, Adam Fox, and 7 others convicted in the 2020 plot to kidnap the governor. The president says they may have been unfairly treated. We're getting a look now at results of our exclusive WDIV Detroit News poll, and this is on the race to be Detroit's next mayor. Current City Council President Mary Sheffield is leading the way with 38% of responses. Reverend Solomon Kinloch is in second place with 14%, and that's followed by James Craig at 9% and Santil Jenkins at 8%. 22% are still undecided. The top 2 vote getters in the August primary do move on to the general election. Coming up tomorrow at 6 a.m., we'll have more exclusive poll results on the Detroit City Council as well as immigration reform. All right, now we go to the forecast. Here's a live look at the Detroit riverfront on this Tuesday evening, where the city sent out an alert, actually, saying the air today is unhealthy for sensitive people. This comes as smoke from those Canadian wildfires continues to pour into the U.S. Brian's in for Kim tonight. And Brian, the warmer weather will stick around, but there's now a threat for storms tomorrow?
We do have a threat for some strong to possibly severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and evening, Ty. The air quality still a little on the moderate side side for the majority of southeastern Michigan, but right toward downtown Detroit, you're seeing some of those darker yellows show up. That's where we close in on that unhealthy for sensitive range that the city of Detroit put out today due to the smoke from those wildfires. But what I've been watching this evening is the core of that unhealthier air from Minneapolis into Wisconsin has been shifting a little east. Now, I don't think we're going to get to those colors, but nevertheless, we will keep some of that haze around from the smoke from those wildfires through the overnight and heading out the door early tomorrow morning. Tower cam over downtown Detroit. You can see a little bit of that haze on the horizon as we head into the late night hours tonight. Very warm, very muggy outside tonight. Sitting at 79 here in downtown Detroit, 75 tonight as you work over into Ann Arbor, 76 in Pontiac, and 75 tonight down in Monroe. We've got our cold front that will trigger those showers and thunderstorms pressing on into Wisconsin and Illinois tonight. That moves into our region tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, so we'll increase the cloud cover into early tomorrow morning, right around 70 by 6 o'clock in the morning, and we warm out of the 70s into the 80s tomorrow afternoon before those storms develop tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. I'll time out more on the storms for tomorrow and a look at the weekend, which is much better than tomorrow. Details in your full 4-1 forecast coming up in just a few minutes.